Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. It's a new work week. It's Monday. Let's go out the door, right into the rain. I'm kind of surprised. You're so ambitious to go out into the rain. Oh, Steve's like, oh, maybe I'll go under here. T-Rex, he smells the critters. He knows there's been something in the yard last night. So it was an unbelievable sunrise again this morning. Darius and Eunice is in Cape Cod, on Cape Cod as usual. He's always on Cape Cod, does these things every morning and just spectacular. You outdo yourself every day, Darius. Red sky in morning, sailor take warning. Unlike the red sky of the last few nights where it was a sailor's delight. Just can't keep them straight. Lee went by, we had two glorious sunsets, and Lee mostly stayed offshore. But now we have this incoming sou'easter, so red sky this morning, sailor take warning, the wind is really going to pick up. The sailboats are pointed to the east right now. Very light wind. We have 3 low pressure centers this morning. One in Ontario moving into Quebec. There's another one there in New York and another one south of New England. They're all going to come together, so by this evening, we're going to have 2 low pressure centers. And they're deepening. We have cyclogenesis today. That's a low pressure system deepening with more and more isobars to 992 millibar, approximately, low pressure center on the Maine coast tonight. And the isobars keep multiplying. As the low pressure center deepens, you get more isobars. And the more isobars you have, lines of equal pressure. What is wind? Air moving from high to low pressure. And the wind is going to be increasing rapidly. Now, the worst of the wind is going to stay offshore. But even here on the coast, we may get some 20 to 30 mile an hour sustained as the low pressure goes right over us this evening. You want to see the 925 millibar? This is about 2,500 feet up. It almost looks like there's an eye forming there on the coast of Maine tonight. And yeah, down in the lower right there, that's Nigel, the hurricane that was forecast to go south of Bermuda and between Bermuda and the United States a few days ago. Now forecast to stay well east of Bermuda. So that forecast has changed and it's kind of locked in for the last couple of days. So that looks almost a certainty that Nigel is not going to have an impact, may even not even have any waves for us. Surf. So surf is down. But this storm tonight, it's kind of close. So there may be a little bit of surf early tomorrow morning. So what's going on right now? Low pressure that develops right over you. There's going to be a lot of upward moving air, ascending air. And that cools and condenses rapidly, and that's why there's a new flood watch in effect. We thought this would happen from yesterday. Flood watch in effect, eastern Massachusetts, much of New Hampshire, and Maine. It's right along and just to the north and west of this almost tropical-looking system, but it's not. It's cold core. It has the heaviest rain with an axis of Narragansett Bay to western Maine, where some spots may get 2 to 4 inches of rain on top of an already saturated soil. So definitely flash flood watch is warned. It's not a flash flood watch, it's a flood watch. So there may be some flash flooding going on. The heaviest of the rain looks like it's going to come right over Boston, probably about sunset or so. So we have these bands of rain. There they are on the radar setting up this morning. You want to see the satellite imagery. There's just a huge cloud. We may have an eye-like feature. That's going to be really interesting at sunset. Very close to where we are right here. So, I get the time lapse of the sky, and that's going to be fun to show. Now, today's a pretty bad day with the rain and the wind increasing, although it's a Monday, so it's a good work day. Oh, Steve is all tied up. Let me help get Steve untangled. How did you on earth, seriously, go? I put that chair there just to keep you from doing that. And he went around and up and over. And that's what cats do, right? Sorry. All right, so now Steve is going to take his position under the bird feeder, which I have not put any seed in. He just sits there and watches. He does not go after birds. He just watches. Seriously. Mice, that's a different story. All right, where were we? Yeah, so today's not a very good day. Tomorrow's going to be fairly windy from the west and the northwest first thing, but that low is taking right off, and it's going to be out to sea before we know it tomorrow, and a high pressure system comes in, and that high is going to be gradually strengthening, and as it strengthens right over us, just gorgeous weather this week setting up with radiational cooling each night with a dew point in the 40s. We're going to get down to the 40s. Therell be some 30s, maybe the first frost advisories of the season for parts of northern New England. And on the back side of that high, which gets up to about 10:31, 10:32, 10:33 there as it goes east of Maine on Thursday and Friday, we have something coming out from the Bahamas. And as Bastardi likes to say, home brew. I like to say it now too, home brew. You know, Hurricane Bob back in 91 was a home brew. It formed right over the Bahamas and came north. Now, the guidance has sort of a rich tropical warm front on it right now coming north. And there's also competitive action to its west. So models are not having a very good time trying to focus on what may happen here next Friday, well, this Friday into Saturday, Sunday. And that front gets up here and then it kind of stalls out. So we may have day after day of rain coming in Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's reflected here in that 14-day forecast for Boston from weather.us. This is Euro-based. But you see, after today, we do get 4 days of beautiful weather. But unfortunately, beautiful weather stretches in the middle of the week often mean the weekend's not going to be so good. So maybe playing around that. Do your outdoor stuff. If you can take a day to go outdoors or play or work outdoors in the middle of the week, it'll probably be better than the weekend. That's the early call on that. Yesterday was a really interesting day. On Cape Cod, met a couple of new cats, Bader and Bowie. Thank you, Deborah, for sharing with me some new cats because we are cat lovers. And here's Steve sitting on one of his great uncle's plaques. Bodie looked just like Steve. Bodie passed early in September of 2023. It's 2022. Excuse me, 2020, so it's been 3 years without Bodie, who looked a lot like Steve, but every Maine Coon has its own character, and boy, is Steve quite a character. Not to diminish T-Rex, and Mitt's probably right in the door. Mitt's also a Maine Coon cat. Anyhow, yesterday with the cats, and also Liz and Peaches, and their chickens, and the heirloom Blue Hubbard. What do you do with heirloom Blue Hubbard? Stand by. Details coming in. And thanks for the intel on the Blue Jays yesterday. I just had a couple Blue Jays go by telling me that they live 7 to 17 years, the lifespan of a Blue Jay. So I ask questions here and I get answers. I love my YouTube friends and subscribers, and I love coming out every day and offering you nature, birds, boats, weather, and more. Just a few minutes later, I just shot the out the door, but I want to come back out the door, not only because this ship is going by, but because it's raining harder, and salt water is more dense than fresh water. So the fresh water from the rain actually floats in channels on the salt water, especially when there's no wind. So that makes this very interesting. I love when this happens. Camera's misbehaving. I'm going to have a new camera before the end of the week, and I'm going to get new audio this week too. And while we're out here, why don't we go ask Steve if he wants to go in, because it's raining pretty hard, Steve. And another thing I want to say about today, it's going to be very dark. You'll need your lights on in the middle of the day because these cloud tops are going to go up to 30, 40,000 feet. And there may be some thunderstorms, but the lift-in index is near zero, so it's not as unstable as last week. Steve, do you even care that it's pouring? Well, you get a little garage over there. He doesn't care. You're coming in, Steve. We're going in because I don't want to have to think about it. All right. Let's see if this works. Come, Steve. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Just a little bit like a dog. I raised him like a dog. Come on, Steve. Yep, let's go. Let's go. He's like, it's raining. I don't want to go. You have to. Come on, Steve. We're going in. We're going in. Come on. Yes, we are. So right when I made that video, I brought him in. He came in, but I accidentally left the door I went out open, and he went out it before I even knew it, and I had to go 3 doors down to find him. He didn't care that it was raining. Technically, we have indoor cats, but we let them out on leashes, and this one they love to go out. Doesn't care that it's raining. So anyhow, 20 minutes later, and I still haven't started editing out the door, weather, and more. Okay, time for the more. Would you please stop escaping like that? No, do whatever I want, whenever I want. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say.
But Bader is after Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
So that's Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Bowie's named after?
I guess maybe David Bowie. I don't know.
David Bowie?
I just like the name.
Bowie and Bader.
Yeah, and they're brothers.
And they're brothers.
Came from the same litter.
They're
There were
really
6
nice.
cats in the litter, and I wanted all 6 of them. I wanted my kids to adopt some of them, and they
Let's
did.
count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90,
These
100.
are wandering
110.
Jews.
Those are what?
Wandering Jews.
Wandering Jews.
Yeah, like me. I'm a wandering Jew. I'm always wandering.
You're funny. So, this is the plant room, although you could
Slash
seat
dining room.
10 people for dinner also at the same time.
Right, / dining room.
You gotta get a web camera.
I
just got Vader to come through the cat door.
Either. I've been so,
Look how open it is up here.
this whole
Wow.
thing is taking up so much time.
Oh my goodness. This is the view we want of Fallon's Pond.
It's like diamonds.
Yeah. Sun sparkles on Fallon's Pond. This is so gorgeous. We gotta put a web camera up here. I'll even donate it.
Okay, anytime. We have our router right there, so.
Well, if nothing else, it's been a very good September for tomatoes. Look at these, gorgeous. You have tomatoes going all the way into Christmas time. And eggs are doing pretty good too. How's the egg laying business doing? Not bad, not bad. How are you? How are you? These are the fuzzy ones, and those are the non-fuzzy ones. And then over here, Peaches does not eat peaches for dinner. Peaches eats hay. Hey, how you doing? Lying dog-faced pony nose. Yourself, please. Could you repeat yourself, please? You come back here. You come back here right now. Basically, she said, stay away from my dinner. You come here. How's it again? Well, at least it's been some sunshine this month. It's been a good month for growing, though, don't you think?
Yeah.
September.
Heirloom is like old or antique, or they're.
So what does that mean? What are these?
Those are Blue Hubbard squash.
Blue Hubbard.
Blue Hubbard, native to Massachusetts.
Heirloom?
Yes.
That just means the seeds have been going for a long time.
Yes.
They're
And
beautiful.
they're not organic. I mean, they are organic. They're not GMO. Genetic, and those are obviously buttermilk and an acorn.
Do you like acorns?
He's like, no, I gotta scratch myself. I'm afraid of it.
So what do you intend to do with these?
Pies.
Pies?
Pies, cookies, bread. Just like pumpkin. You could use it, you can use them just like you would with a butternut squash.
These
or
things
a
are
pumpkin.
dense. It's very heavy.
Yeah, the best way to open them up is you hold them about this high from the ground and you just drop it. Because they have a really hard shell on them. So they're very hard to cut with a knife.
Can you
so
open
the
one?
easiest. Huh?
You want to open it?
No.
Not
It's
yet.
not ready. We just cut it today.
Oh, neat.
So they are like other winter squash. You want them to set for a little while before you cut them open.
Oh, interesting.
They're not as juicy on the inside and they get more flavor as they sit a little while.
Oh, cool.
The butternut squash, we will keep them most of the winter time. We'll bring them inside. We have like 18 more in the house.
Nice.
And we'll keep them through the winter in the basement. We don't really have a cold storage. We don't have a bin with
Yeah, these
dirt
things
in it or
last a long
anything.
time,
Yeah.
right? So that's why the natives kind of harvested them a lot.
Yeah.
How was this summer for growing? I mean, even though it rained so much?
The squash were really good. The tomatoes, as you can tell,
They look great.
I know, but some of them are just turning red. They should have been all red by.
All right. But
August.
now you have Thanksgiving tomatoes.
This is right. So I found out that the acorn squash, you can do their seeds just like pumpkin seeds. These ones right here. So
Yeah.
we have a couple. We didn't get too many this year. But the Hubbard squash, you can cook those or roast them like a pumpkin. But I usually save the seeds so I can have more for next year.
Yeah, put them so
Back
year
in the
after year you
ground.
have the same seeds.
Exactly.
So these have been in the family for quite some time.
Well, truth be told, I found the original one at a Whole Foods in their gourd section at Halloween about 7 years ago. And I went, look, it's a Blue Hubbard squash. It's $5.
$5.
Yeah,
And look
usually the seeds are like $10 for 4 or 5 seeds.
Kidding. I'll give you $3. I want some seeds. I want to try it next year.
All right, yeah, you can. Your hill would be perfect with
Oh,
all
great.
that sun.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll get you some seeds.
Do those dogs bite?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Are you going to scare them? Shady, sit.
They were trying to bite me a few minutes ago. Now all of a sudden they
Shady,
like me
sit.
again.
Sit.
Aw, so cute. You want to be an
sit?
out the door weather and more?
grapes.
What kind of dogs again?
Papillons.
Papillons.
They're papillons.
Heirloom papillons?
No, I hope not.